her range, her three-point shooting overall, her flair for testing her range every night and knowing that the other team's going to try to take it away. And she's fearless. No shot is a bad shot, and when you can shoot it as well as she can. She just adds another element of surprise that you can't really game plan for because it's so kind of just unseen. And once she crosses half court, she's within her range. It's always a threat. The biggest thing is how she balances that and her playmaking ability to get everybody else involved.
Caitlin Clark, the rising star of the WNBA, has sent shockwaves through the basketball world. NBA legends like LeBron James and Steph Curry have spoken out, and their statements are making waves not just in the WNBA, but across sports media. From on-court dominance to being relentlessly targeted by critics and opponents alike, Caitlin Clark's journey is nothing short of historic. But what do these NBA legends really think of her, and why is everyone talking about this rookie sensation? Let's dive into the story behind the hype and the controversy. Caitlin Clark has already carved out a place in basketball history, despite being a rookie in the WNBA. Her journey from the NCAA to becoming one of the league's brightest stars has been nothing short of extraordinary.
She is the NCAA's all-time leading scorer of men and women. In February, she broke the women's record. In March, she broke Pistol Pete Maravich's 3,667-point record. She's had more 30-point games than anyone in the past 25 years. This girl earned this. I'm sorry.
Leading the league in points and assists, breaking records left and right, and capturing the attention of fans and NBA legends alike, Clark is a force to be reckoned with. But with success comes challenges, and Clark has faced plenty, both on and off the court. Her dominance has drawn comparisons to NBA greats like Steph Curry for her incredible shooting range and playmaking abilities.
Breakout star of the WNBA right now with the highest salary in league history.
But what has sparked even more debate is the way Clark is being treated by WNBA veterans and media personalities.
She's arguably the best playmaker in the league, arguably the second best three-point shooter in the league. I don't know, they seem valuable in Olympic competition, and she's not on the team. So you argued she wasn't good for the Olympics. Your argument, though I don't buy it, but it was your argument, women's basketball, that she would be a distraction. So isn't the perfect place to put her in the skills competition? Now what is it? Pettiness, gatekeeping, insular, dumb?
From accusations of white privilege to being bullied on the court, Caitlin Clark has found herself at the center of intense scrutiny.
Compares Clark to Steph Curry for being relatable to fans, but claims the fact that she's a straight white woman plays a big role in the hype around her. It's not the numbers.
One of the most heated debates surrounding Caitlin Clark is whether her popularity is due to her skill set or something else entirely, namely her race and appearance. TV personalities like Sunny Hostin from The View have controversially claimed that Clark's rapid rise is partially fueled by pretty privilege and her identity as a straight white woman.
So if Caitlin Clark is the vehicle that will bring this sport that I have loved so much and so long to little 5-year-old girls playing in Harlem, I say yes, bravo. Yeah. I have no problem with that. With that being said, I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege. And we have to acknowledge that. And so the part of it is about race, because if you think about the Brittany Griners of the world, you know, why did she have to go to play in Russia?
Because they wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't pay, not because she was black, but because they didn't believe in the WNBA.
Hostin suggested that while Clark's talents are undeniable, her mainstream appeal is tied to the fact that she's more relatable to certain audiences. But the numbers don't lie. Clark holds multiple records, including being the NCAA's all-time leading scorer for both men and women. She's had more 30-point games than anyone in college basketball over the past 25 years. Her accomplishments are staggering, and many believe her skill set alone is enough to merit her popularity. As one fan stated, Caitlin earned this. Give her her flowers. Stop being petty.
You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Oh, you are.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes.
Despite the criticism, NBA players have come to her defense, acknowledging her generational talent. One of Clark's most vocal supporters has been none other than NBA superstar Steph Curry. The two players have been compared endlessly due to their similar shooting styles and range. But Curry has made it clear that Clark's game is in a league of its own.
I saw somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine. And then her just confidence. You can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer.
Curry admires her ability to take over games with her deep shooting and floor generalship, emphasizing that these comparisons often take away from the rest of her game.
Close comparison to the way that I play.
I was going to say, Caitlin Clark's been compared to you.
Yeah, but I think it almost robs her of like the rest of her game because she's such a good floor, she has her overall, floor game. She's racking up, close to triple doubles every night, and like her shooting ability is, it's her superpower.
But Curry's support doesn't stop there. Recently, he weighed in on the bullying Clark has faced from WNBA veterans, calling it unfair. He pointed out that while competitiveness is a part of the game, targeting a rookie like Clark just because of her success is crossing the line. She just wants to hoop, Curry said. She's bringing attention to the game, and that's something to be celebrated, not torn down. Steph Curry isn't the only NBA star to back Clark. LeBron James has also come forward, drawing parallels between Clark's experience and his own when he entered the NBA straight out of high school. LeBron knows firsthand how difficult it can be to handle media scrutiny and criticism while trying to prove yourself on the court. LeBron has openly stated that he's rooting for Caitlin Clark, praising her for how she's handled the pressure and the attention. People want to tune in because of her, LeBron said. She's bringing more eyes to the WNBA, and that's a good thing for everyone.
The one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time.
I've been where she is. People doubting you, veterans coming at you, and I just want her to keep doing what she's doing.
I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before. I hope she kills. I hope they do great. I'm just kind of in this mode right now because I'm getting the same, thing from watching my son, who's a 19-year-old, kind of getting a lot of animosity. And
Kevin Durant also chimed in, highlighting how Clark's presence in the WNBA is helping shine a light on other stars.
Always had the ball in her hands. Everybody was playing off of her. She just commanded the whole game. I'm like, who the hell is this? She is nice. It was like, oh, she's the best player in the country. I was like, oh, damn. I see it now. Like, like when you walk in and you don't even know who anybody is, and they just be like, yo, that's the best player in the country right there. It's just like, yo, that shit hit you out of nowhere. Like, let me really focus in on her.
Durant believes that Clark's breakthrough will lead to even more exposure for the league and its players. It's no secret that Caitlin Clark has been targeted on the court. Veterans and even rookies have delivered hard fouls, elbows, and shoves, testing her resolve. The physicality of the WNBA is intense, but many wonder if Clark is being singled out due to jealousy or fear of her rapid success. Clark has taken these hits in stride, rarely complaining and focusing instead on her performance. However, the scrutiny hasn't just been limited to physical play. Off the court, she's been subject to harsh criticism from media figures and WNBA legends. Some, like Fox Sports' Joe Taylor, even went as far as to claim that Clark was unknown until Angel Reese made her famous during the 2023 NCAA championship game, when Reese's taunting of Clark turned into a viral moment.
We don't get to decide that, the public did, and that happened for a very specific spark of a moment. Angel Reese is not, Angel Reese from a player-only perspective, is not that unique. Caitlin Clark looks phenomenal. No one's denying her shooting ability. But as far as like athleticism or dominating in college basketball, seen it.
Right.
The moment was very specific. And this, the stuff that Caitlyn was doing, like we're saying Angel was doing that. But so we can't separate the two. Like, Caitlyn's stardom is owed to that moment. Yes, she is great, but we were not talking about her from an interesting perspective. Athleticism, sure, that's fun, but you have to be interesting, you have to be polarizing. And why was Angel Reese polarizing? Let's be honest about it. She's a black woman who is in Caitlyn Clark's face.
Among those who have defended Clark from these attacks is Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal, who has labeled her the best female collegiate player ever. Shaq has consistently praised Clark's ability to bring excitement to the game and called out those who are trying to downplay her impact. He believes much of the criticism stems from professional jealousy, as Clark's presence has overshadowed many established WNBA stars.
Ratings are higher. They want to show out too.
You know what I call it? I call it stealing props. And I talk about this all the time, but when I use the J word, people are like, that's professional jealousy. Like, for example, if our podcast numbers are doing certain numbers and then a guy below us, oh, he's the best podcast ever, me and you're going to be like, what the f?
Yeah. We're going to sit in the lab and come up with some cool stuff.
That's what I'm saying, so.
Jeff Teague, another former NBA player, took to his podcast to criticize those hating on Clark. He believes that WNBA veterans should have gassed her up instead of trying to tear her down.
For the show, like, they played this all wrong, bro.
Terribly, bro.
They was supposed to gas this shit. This is why people don't watch this shit when y'all leave college. Women's sports, because y'all hating on the best thing that's going to happen to the W for a long time.
Even Gino Auriemma, the legendary UConn women's basketball coach, has come to Clark's defense. He compared her impact to that of Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson when they entered the NBA, saying, "Why are you blaming this kid for being great?"
If you're a college player and you're a great college player like Caitlyn was, the delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart, and betting odds on being MVP of the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league, and she's a rookie. You're going to say, I'm going to make a statement, targeted by her looks, targeted by her reputation, targeted by the disrespect that they've shown to the WNBA is back. I thought Cameron Brink said something really smart. She said, now they're expecting this rookie class to be perfect.
Despite the noise, Caitlyn Clark's effect on the WNBA is undeniable. Her games have brought in record attendance numbers, with arenas selling out and television ratings soaring. WNBA viewership has tripled since Clark joined the league, and her presence has sparked a new media deal worth $200 million per season, 4 times the previous amount. The 2024 WNBA All-Star Game, held after Clark's rookie debut, saw a 146% increase in viewership from the previous year, making it the most watched game in league history. Her impact isn't just limited to viewership. Clark's star power is filling arenas. When the Atlanta Dream faced Clark's Indiana Fever, the game had to be moved to a larger NBA arena, where nearly 18,000 fans showed up, 5 times the capacity of Atlanta's usual home venue. Sue Bird, one of the WNBA's most respected voices, has also weighed in on Clark's game. Bird, who knows a thing or two about being a dominant guard in the league, recently praised Clark's fast-paced play and lethal shooting range. But Bird also issued a warning. The rest of the WNBA should be very worried. According to Bird, Clark's combination of deep shooting and court vision makes her nearly impossible to defend. She advised teams to start picking Clark up full court in the playoffs, because her ability to score from anywhere on the court is a nightmare for opposing defenses.
Last week that she broke the record and it was like 4 million people watched that. It's just exciting.
Yeah, those are the numbers.
It's huge.
Yeah, she's obviously doing amazing. Her game speaks for itself. I think my favorite part is just women's basketball, women's sports really, but women's basketball has been on the rise. And it's kind of like what Magic and Bird was to men's basketball. Like this moment, we kind of needed something.
This is
to
that
just
moment.
Yeah, and Caitlyn's that moment. And I think a lot of it has to do with her logo threes.
I personally, ever since All-Star break, have felt that Caitlyn was the Rookie of the Year. She has since just continued to prove that. But, you know, let's get into it. She balled out. She had a double-double, 31 points, career high, 12 assists.
You know, my concern with all the talk about the first question always being Caitlyn is that we are ignoring so many other women that are coming up. But will there be a point where you're just relieved that that's not the first question? Like, where's your level of frustration as one of the greats and with so many other women out there? So where is your level with frustration there as to that being the first question?
You know, I don't have frustration around that. I think that superstars do ignite leagues. They do carry them on. We've seen it on the men's side. We've seen it on the women's side as well. So it doesn't really frustrate me. It's her moment. She's coming off an amazing college season, drafted #1. It's not really, there's no way around it. Everybody wants to see how she's going to do. I think the way I've always looked at it, you know, as her popularity started to grow, particularly this last year, it felt like women's basketball in general, and then specifically the WNBA, was already on its way. The WNBA viewership and, you know, all the numbers that people look at, that was already on the rise probably over the last couple years. And to me, Caitlin was just this match that kind of ignited it and just made it bigger. So she accelerated everything quite a bit. Obviously, the viewership numbers show that, but things were already on a trajectory that was headed upwards. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful for her in a lot of ways.
Bird also acknowledged the pressures Clark faces as the new face of the WNBA, but she believes Clark is well equipped to handle it. She's already proven herself, Bird said. Now it's just about building the right pieces around her in Indiana. As the WNBA playoffs loom, all eyes will be on Caitlin Clark and her Indiana Fever team. Can she lead them to playoff success despite being a rookie? Will the physical and mental toll finally catch up to her, or will she rise above the challenges once again? One thing is for sure, Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie. She's already made her mark on the league, and with the support of NBA legends like Steph Curry and LeBron James, the sky's the limit for her career. The question remains, will the WNBA continue to embrace the Caitlin effect, or will the animosity from within the league overshadow her incredible accomplishments? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear, Caitlin Clark is just getting started.
Backcourt with you, one of today's players?
One of today's players?
Yeah.
I would want it to be Luka, because he's a big point guard.
Yeah.
I can still play the 2.
Yeah.
He can guard the 2, I guard the 1.
In the last 25 years of the NBA, the only other player not named Allen Iverson to outscore, out-rebound, and out-assist a whole team in a single quarter is none other than Luka Doncic. And Luka did it in his rookie season. While this is no direct comparison between the Hall of Famer and the Mavs guard, it is proof of what AI saw and very recently said about Luka Doncic, something the rest of the NBA has now come to see.
The rewind segment during Heat Halftime presented by your South Florida Chevy dealers. Back to live action. Here's John and Aaron.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you a couple minutes from now as Doncic turns twice and then lays it in. Look, great footwork.
He uses his body inside. He's got 6'10" Bam on it.
In this 2023-24 season, Mavs guard Luka Doncic has scored more than 26 points in the first half of a game, 13 times. He's on an MVP caliber run. Right now, Luka Doncic is just one triple-double away from tying James Harden on the all-time list. With just 392 career games played, he's the second fastest player in NBA history to reach the 75 triple-double mark. Only Oscar Robertson, with 182 games, accomplished the feat faster than Luka. This season, he got tied for the 4th highest scoring game in history, and it was the most efficient 70-point game in NBA history. Luka went 25 for 33 from the floor, 8 for 13 from 3, and 15 for 16 from the free throw line. With an effective field goal percentage of 87.9%, Luka was 10% better than the previous record set by Damian Lillard and Donovan Mitchell. Whatever the case, these stats in just his 6th year in the NBA. It's not surprising that AI really wished he could play alongside him. It's no secret that the Sixers legend is a big fan of Luka Doncic. In fact, the Hall of Famer is one of the few NBA stars to believe Luka was generational from the onset. As far back as 2020, during Luka Doncic's 3rd year in the NBA, the Hall of Famer was speechless when describing the Mavs guard. In his words, "Something is wrong with him."
Some bread in
He was what's homeboy name, man?
From Dallas?
For Dallas.
Luka.
What?
He's an animal. Something is wrong with him.
I love Luka so much, I'm going to show you the text. After they lost and he was getting bullied, I called Rick Carlisle. I said, Rick, man, if you need me, man, Luka live, man, we're going to come ride for him. You need us
Man.
to, bro. Luka nice.
Man.
God damn.
Man.
It definitely would have taken a lot for the 2001 MVP to be that stunned by a third-year guard. In Allen Iverson's third year in the league, he was 23 years old and already ranked 4th in MVP voting, leading the NBA in points per game with an average of 26.8 points, 4.6 assists, 4.9 rebounds, and 2.3 steals. AI was generational. He once out-rebounded Shaquille O'Neal, dropping 41 on Kobe Bryant, had more assists than any other Lakers player, and was only 4 assists shy of the Lakers total. Little wonder Kobe Bryant named him one of his toughest players to guard, and that we are all lucky AI was not 6'8".
But, and AI as a competitor, he drove me to be as more obsessive about the game, because I had to figure out how to solve that problem, And I told him when I saw him here this weekend, I said, man, you don't realize how much you push me, and I don't think people nowadays realize how great you were as a player. And
for what it's worth, one player Allen Iverson believed was just as good as he was, and not for his flashy footwork, but how much of a problem he was and how easy he could get to the bucket, has been Luka Doncic.
3.7 seconds was. This is a shot he works on time and time again. Rhythm, step back three.
While Allen Iverson saw the potential long before many, some other NBA stars who weren't impressed with the Slovenian have since come around. One in particular is Kevin Durant.
I want to know about Luka. What's it like guarding him?
He just so smooth with it. Like, I just love his game. I love his game. At first I didn't when he first came into the league, because I'm like, all it is step back threes, and they be short as hell. He's shooting like 27%, 30% from the three-point line early on. But playing against him one time, they be just like about 40 when I was with Golden State. And he was controlling every possession. I was like, yeah, he nice. And he expanded his game. Like, you tell you're a fast learner too. Like, he probably watching fucking MJ move and just go do it in the game the next night. Like, I feel like he's one of those type of players.
Gilbert Arenas, who shockingly doesn't give European basketballers much praise, called him unguardable.
I really fell in love with Luka. I was watching him, when he was coming through the draft process, and I was like, man, the guy is too slow. I don't know how he's gonna get his shot off. And then I seen one live game, and I was like,
Luka weeding on the defense. Back to the three-point line.
I messed up on that one. When it comes to, the Euro players coming in, they're all skilled. They all have an ability to adjust to the NBA game, but Luka's just different. Sitting at 6'8", 6'9", being a point guard, being a shooter, having an understanding of fundamentals versus what raw athleticism is, possessing it all. Like, there's a reason that he is performing the way he is versus others in the past.
His head coach, Jason Kidd, said, he's better than Dirk. He's in the atmosphere of MJ, the best to ever do it. LeBron James, Kobe. And so just to appreciate what this young man is doing at the age of 24 is something that Dallas has never seen. And I've said this internally, he's better than Dirk. He does things that Dirk could never do. Obviously, Dirk brought a championship to the Mavs, but the Hall of Famer wasn't this good at Luka's age. Plus, Jason Kidd played alongside Dirk. So know that Luka is better and already in the atmosphere of MJ. Even Steph Curry had this to say about Luka Doncic when he came up against him.
Because that plus, being a three-level scorer, you have to kind of worry about everything. You don't want to get his step-back threes going, so you got to press up on him, but he's shifty and got a great handle, so he can use his leverage to get by you, and then obviously his court vision is unreal, so he's kind of the offensive, package of being just a playmaker and a scorer. And when he's knocking down shots like he did tonight, it's tough. You kind of want.
Luka was so good that he had former teammate Jalen Brunson doubting if he belonged in the NBA.
So from day one, I was like, this dude is good. This dude is good. But also, I'm thinking damn, this dude is good. Do I belong? That's the type of doubt that I put in my mind. Like,
That's
this
how
dude
good
he was that good.
Mm.
I can't even. You can ask any vet on that team. It was like DeAndre Jordan, Wes Matthews, Harrison Barnes, JJ Barea, Devin Harris. They all say the same thing.
In any case, While these many NBA stars and legends have now caught up with the amazing talent Luka Doncic is, Allen Iverson very recently gave more credit to Luka Doncic and described him as the one player who reminds him of what he was like. Surprising take, given that Luka doesn't have the flashy footwork Iverson had when he played. But what is more surprising is the fact that AI believes Luka plays like a black guy. But as controversial as that may sound, it's not false. This season, Luka Doncic is leading the league in scoring, averaging almost a triple-double. The guard is averaging 34 points, 9.9 assists, and 9 rebounds on 48.6% shooting. He currently has 18 25-point triple-doubles this season. And while he is an offensive nightmare, defensively, he's also great. This season, players are shooting just 37% against Luka Doncic in one-on-one isolation defending. As a post defender, players are only 42.9% against him, putting him in the 91st percentile. To understand why Allen Iverson describes his gameplay as that of a black guy, watch Gilbert Arenas talk about how Luka plays.
Luka has the advantage over anyone who's guarding him because these guys are too athletic for this part of the game.
Yes.
For this part of
that part, yeah, bro.
Open court.
Open court, you got him. Yeah.
Half court where you have to be disciplined. You never learned it. So these basic moves that get you to think I'm gonna go that way, to come back this way, you overplaying it, pump fake, you're jumping, foul. Next time, pump fake, you stop, okay. Like, you know, so he plays the puppet master game with you. And that's what fundamentals are important, especially at a younger age, because you need the fundamentals before your athleticism kick in. Before the athleticism kick in and the athleticism takes over. You need to learn how to use.
It's funny because I was like,
the truth in all of this is while there is a swag to how Luka plays, the guard is so fundamentally sound that he's a problem for many defenders. Everything goes at his pace, which is something LeBron, Kevin Garnett, Shaq, and Allen Iverson have all mentioned about him. He's not a superior athlete in the usual sense. He's not particularly quick or explosive, and he doesn't possess exceptional leaping ability. But regardless of whether he's crowded or the opponent is powerful, he always gets to his area and shoots at his own pace.
That three-point shot that Sacramento creates that allow him to get to the rim.
Doncic for three. He's in double figures with 10 to win 128. 124. We have a good one early here at Golden One Center. Doncic for three. Filthy.
In the words of LeBron James, Luka Doncic can counter any defensive strategy played against him without getting sped up by utilizing effective pace, pivots, and manipulating the last line of defense.
What makes Luka special? I know you recently said he was your favorite player.
His size.
It's gigantic.
I mean, he's gigantic. He's 6'8" point guard. He's 225 pounds. Jeez. He has the ball on the string, but more importantly, his vision. That's why I love his vision. He can control a game. He doesn't even have to shoot. He'll walk the ball up the court 10 straight times and get to his spot every single time. Just because of his pace. He knows when he comes off a pick and roll, if they're hard showing or if they hedging or if they dropping the pick and roll, he know I could turn the corner because I got this shoulder. And I know the third line of defense, when I get there, if I just slow down, use my pivots, you know, not even jump, just the Euro 1, 2, this guy's flying by. He's flying by.
What LeBron described here for a 25-year-old is a generational talent. I mean, who does this at 19 years old in the NBA, if not a generational talent?
Before Thanksgiving.
Indeed.
Got it.
There it is. Corner, Luka! Oh! It goes in! How did he do it? That is Luka magic!
God, what a pass. Got it off in time, plenty of time.
What a shot.
Wow. This guy has superstar written all over him.
Or this.
Here we go. Cleveland into Luka. Luka.
When questioned about Luka Doncic during his sophomore year, Doc Rivers said, "There's a lot of people in him." He compared Doncic's step-back three-pointers to James Harden, his passing ability to Larry Bird, and his court vision to LeBron James. In that same season, San Antonio Spurs coach Greg Popovich described Doncic's playing style as Magic Johnson-like. because he sees the floor in that way. Every NBA generation has one or two players who can see the floor like the future. In the 1980s, it was Magic Johnson. In the 1990s, the NBA boasted Steve Nash and Jason Kidd. In the 2000s, we saw Chris Paul, Rajon Rondo, Nikola Jokic, and LeBron James. And so far, one other name has been Luka Doncic. Mavs head coach Jason Kidd said he could tell Doncic saw the game the same way he did from their first game together. A defender had ducked under a screen. Kidd called a timeout, but before he could speak, Luka notified him that he had spotted it and would take advantage of it, which is impressive given that Luka has always been this way. People often refer to Wemby as a unicorn, but the reality is that Luka Doncic is a unicorn in his own right. Prior to Luka Doncic, the last European player with no college experience to be picked with the first 2 picks in the NBA draft was Andrea Bargnani, who has the lowest rebounding rate of any 7-footer to play at least 400 games. Before Bargnani, only one other European had been taken as a top 2 pick without having played in the NCAA. And if you're an NBA fan, you'll know that Darko Milicic is undoubtedly the biggest bust in league history. Nevertheless, Luka Doncic was selected with the 3rd overall pick, having no college experience and has been nothing but phenomenal. Luka Doncic is the youngest player in NBA history to have recorded multiple triple-doubles, and he has 4 of only 5 triple-doubles ever recorded by a teenager. He scored 42 points in his NBA playoff debut. Now a 5-time All-Star, Luka is the first player in NBA history with 6 consecutive 30-point triple-doubles, 5 consecutive 35-point triple-doubles, and 250 points, 50 rebounds, and 50 assists in a 5-game span. He has the first ever 60-point triple-double in NBA history, a game in which he did this intentionally.
Nothing shocks me about this game.
And that drew rim, it's still loose, Luka got it back! He did it! An improbable comeback by Dallas to tie it with 1 second left! It's unbelievable! It is a miracle! It's overtime! Stranger things have happened! 3.9 seconds left. Here's how it went down.
Nonetheless, Luka Doncic's talent is undeniable. He'll go down as one of the best to have ever played in the league. What makes him special is not just one thing, it's a lot of things. Right now, he's averaging the 2nd most points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game of all time, and isn't even being considered a top MVP candidate, even though every other basketball player in the top 10 either won it or had won it the previous year. In any case, whatever Allen Iverson has been saying about Luka Doncic is definitely right, and no one can even doubt it, given how the young guard has stats and accolades to back it all up. All that's needed to truly cement Doncic's greatness is a championship, and Mavs fans, currently 6th seed in the West, will be hoping that their Batman and Robin, Luka and Kyrie, alongside their backcourt, can bring their 2nd championship ever home. What do you think about Allen Iverson's comments on Luka Doncic? Do you think he plays like a black dude? Do you think he plays like AI? Let me know in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, the next video on your screen is worth your time.